Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Dragon Ball Legends video. My name is D-Free. Here today, we're going to talk about the best practices and also talking about the best method to go ahead and get the free Android 21 completely farmed up at an adequate level and things like that. So I hope you guys enjoy. Hit that subscribe, of course, if you're new for more content, as well as that notification so you don't miss anything we upload here on the channel. If you guys have not seen the breakdown video explaining the 221s that came out, the new one that's free and then the summonable one, check that out. Link is down below along with my summons. You're not going to want to miss the summons, especially the ending for the summons as well. And we'll be having gameplay for these units coming up soon. So starting things out, the Elegant Android event. So the most important thing you need to know is that you guys have time. There is no rush to farm her unless you really want to, right? Like I'm going to be rushing through most of it because I want to do videos and stuff. But the event is here until the 3rd of next month. That's give or take about, what, 3 weeks? Something like that. Anyways, so keep that in mind. Now, the event does feature several different mechanics that are utilized in a number of events in the game anyway. So we do have souls that you need to drop and farm as well. You also have limit-breaking material for her as well. But I believe this is the first time in the game the limit-breaking material actually has a farmable stage, which is a really interesting model that I hope that they adapt at least more in the game, because it does kind of suck in these characters to like 3-star or like 5 or 6-star, I guess, whichever you, depending on like the older star system or the new one, and then not being able to get them any further than that for a long time until they bring the events back, right? So anyways, this is how it breaks down. So if you have the new summonable Android 21, this is very important. If you put her on the team, you will get +1 to your Z power drops. That can trigger multiple times, right? And if you have the other 3 characters, the 216s listed and the free Android 21, you get up to another 4 for the, well, it's not really, it's 3 for the Rising Soul and +1 for the Super Soul, which is the bigger one. But this is important. You want to build a team with these 4 characters. That's pretty much it. Now, in terms of the best locations for that and the things that you guys need to know, let's talk about this. So there are multiple items that drop in this event as well. So let's go ahead and move over to the event, which was already right there. Here's the event. And this is how this breaks down. So this stage right here is not available right now. This is a once per day stage that did seem to drop 50 Z power and things of that nature. So just for the record, this stage is going to be the one that you want to obviously make sure you do every day. The reason why is because as time goes on, you guys should be able to get a number of the materials that you guys need in terms of her Z power. That's the most important thing. Again, the event has this daily, right? And there are also missions that we'll talk about in a little bit that are tying into this and other missions in the game. So you definitely want to make sure that you are completing this event stage daily. Again, I want to make sure you guys know that. So in terms of the best general locations to go ahead and get some of the other stuff, this is how it breaks down. So in terms of the souls, right? So we have chapter 10 here. This is going to be the best stage overall to get the regular Rising Souls in the game. This is where you're going to want to go, and obviously it means you just go ahead and do skip tickets. I'm not going to do any right now, but generally what you would get is you'd get somewhere around 100, 150 or so, depending on the luck that you get with the drops. In fact, I guess because I'll show it. I don't need it. I have her completely soul boosted, but I'll show it. Anyways, here we go. So we're going to go ahead and just run it so I can show you guys. It's RNG based. The numbers don't change that much, but it can vary, right? So keep that in mind. So here we go. And let's see what we get. And we got 135, right? So the numbers do vary. That's going to be your best stage to get those. Again, we come over here. This will be the best stage to get the Super Soul variant. The numbers for this can vary a lot too. I've gotten as low as like 2 and as many as like 7 or something like that. Like it does vary a good bit depending on just your luck. Also, having the Android 16s on your team does make a difference. So keep that in mind as well. So I got +3 here because the 16 on my team, and that's how that works out, right? So anyways, though, we go ahead and take a look at the best overall stage for the equipment item that is also in the game. And not only that, this stage is the best stage to farm these other items as well. So not only the equip, but it's the best one to get those. So you kind of kill multiple birds with one stone if you are playing this stage. So definitely consider doing so. I do think the equipment is very good, but I would say that I think it's a pretty low priority thing right now for a lot of people. I would focus on unlocking the character first, obviously, and then afterwards kind of going from there, and you guys can, you know, do what you want to do otherwise, right? So anyways, keeping that in mind, we go ahead and take a look at now the best stage, and the only stage, in fact, aside from this one right here that's not available, to go ahead and get 21 fragments, or, you know what I'm saying, the Z power for her. Again, you get it first time reward, right? Some of the other stages do have first time rewards at the very bottom to challenge complete reward as well. So you guys can get multiple 100 exchanges for her. Now, this is an interesting one. Because if you don't have, again, the summonable 21 on your team, this number does vary, and it will vary a good bit. So we're going to run this a few times just to show you guys a little bit of how this works in general. But yeah, definitely keep that in mind. So here we go. So I got 21 there, which is funny, right? And I've gotten as low as like 12, but as much as like 36. It's pretty crazy. It's still kind of luck dependent in these runs as well, and obviously it's very resource intensive. One of the things we'll talk about is the resources as well, and we'll talk a little bit about the other items, because I know some of you guys are kind of wondering about getting that big macaron or whatever, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So here we go. So this is just a few runs. This is fine because I need these anyway, just like you guys, right? Just like you guys, I need these. So it's a pretty simple event. So look at that. It's a pretty simple event. You don't really need much knowledge on this event. Just make sure you're doing the daily stage. With that, if it does drop about 50 like I got on the first run, I'm sure that maybe varies a bit, but you should get, give or take, about 1,000 in about 3 weeks or something like that. My math could be off, but give or take, right? So that's kind of how this works. The only downside of this is that, again, you do need a lot of Z power depending on where you're trying to get her to. Personally, I'm going to get her to like 6-star, and because I want to get the double buff for female warrior and stuff like that. And eventually, as time goes on, I'll focus on getting some more stars on her. But it is good that, again, there is no restriction on that. So we're going to talk about missions first, and then we'll go back to the resources, the items in the event. So stay tuned for that. So another thing to be aware of is mission rewards. You do get mission rewards that also will reward you various items, like, this is why I saved this for now, like the bigger macaron or whatever that thing's called. Also titles and stuff like that. Also some resources like crystals here. And then on top of that, though, you guys can get access to, you guessed it, more Z-Power, readily accessible Z-Power. So we're going to go ahead and accept all of these, which is really, really nice to get, right? 60 more for her. Also got some crystals to boot. Pretty nice, right? Pretty nice. And another 20, I guess. Cool. Cool. All right. And I'm going to get another one. Okay. Yeah. So definitely make sure you guys are grinding the event. There is a little bit of hand-holding here, but hey, I couldn't be more happy. I appreciate this big time because you guys saw how bad it can be with the drops. And if you want to see how those drops would have been for the Z-Power, just subtract the plus that I got for running the stage, right? So I now have one of those items. You see my item list under the banner at the top. I have one of those items. There is no general stage to farm that item. This stage, by the way, here is just challenge battle, meaning it's just going to be stones. That's it. Crystals. I keep saying stones. Anyways, there is no best stage to farm those at all in this game. And it is designed in that way. And if we take a look at the exchange shop, we can understand why. The items you can exchange are the top 4. You get the title for Don't Be Stubborn. I think we saw an image of that in the event news. You get 30 silver bells. You can get up to 10 energy tickets, which is 200 more energy. That's really good. And then on top of it, you can get 200 more skip tickets. You will need these resources probably for this event, right? So that's kind of why. Those are the only things you can get. Everything else here is exchangeable for the other stuff because they're not expecting you to get many at all of those. You can't even exchange for them, right? You can't even exchange for those ones. So that being said, you're not going to get very many of those. Some of you guys probably have gotten them to drop by farming, but I promise you, due to legends.dbz.space showing us the actual adequate drops and best stages for these, that item does not have a good drop rate. It's the same per event, according to Renzi. So, yeah, that is good information. There is no general location, but Chapter 14, which, like I said, is going to be this one over here with Android 18 or whatever as an item. This is not it. No, this is Chapter 12. Wait. Chapter 12 is the second best one, aside from the once daily. Where's Chapter 14? Chapter 14 actually is the best one to get. Wait, hold on. What the heck? I don't want to misinform. Chapter 14 is the best one to get the item, and that's where you fight just 20. Oh, never mind. So that's the okay. So never mind. Chapter 14 to Wonder. Okay, so this one right here is technically the best stage to get the other 2 items. So I did kind of misinform a little bit with that. That is actually the case, but it's not available right now. So really, all intents and purposes, it's still this one, right? So keep that in mind. So the ranking for the items, the other 2, the donut and the regular macaron, is going to be best stage, technically the second best stage, but you can only do it once, and then the other best stage right here. So this is how that's going to work. So sorry about that. I was looking at the information on my computer screen, and obviously I did have to kind of manipulate that a little bit to show you guys a little bit of what I'm talking about. Here is legends.dbz.space if you're not familiar. I'll leave a link down below. It's a site that my friend has built. Renzi, you guys know about him. And it's listing the best stages in order to drop these, the worst stage being Chapter 1 and stuff like that. And I specifically asked him about this. Oh, hey, is Chapter 10 the best one? He said, no, they're all the same drop for this item between, and it's listed as a rare item as well, so you're not meant to get many at all. So do keep that in mind. But I guess you can get it, right? It can drop. So the last thing I want to kind of mention is the exchange shop. I'm going to go ahead and exchange for 21Z power. And the priorities for the exchange shop, since this is a very resource-intensive grind, should be the resources like skip tickets and energy tickets. If you really want to, there are other avenues to get those items. Don't sleep on Legends Road. That's a thing. Also, don't sleep on the idea of exchanging for those items in other exchange shops like the dual coin shop or like the guild shop. I do not recommend exchanging those places in particular. I'd recommend saving those for what could potentially come down the line that's better utilization for those, maybe beyond like Zenkai Souls or whatever for the dual coin shop or whatever. Personally, I'd be saving those, right? But if you guys want to, that is another avenue. Also, some of the other shops in the game can provide you guys with tickets and also energy and skip tickets. So that's pretty much everything that you guys need to know. Again, to recap, best stage, only stage, in fact, to get her is this one other than the once daily stage, right? Do keep that in mind. We also do have this one right here where you will get the best drops for this item right here, okay? The other one in the middle, best stage to get the Super Soul. And then other than that, the best stage right here to get, why did this switch? To get the item and then the equips. Well, we talked about, or excuse me, the equip and the items. We talked about the variants for that, though. The challenge battle stage will be unlocking, and that one will give you access to the best actual drops for the macaron and the donut. But other than that, again, remember daily to complete these, and there are also missions to completing these as well. So if you guys found this helpful, if you guys enjoyed it, be sure to hit the thumbs up. Subscribe, of course, if you're new for more content. In terms of 21, you'd need the same amount of Z power for her as every other character. That's the last thing I want to kind of cover. A maxed out character is 9,999, if I recall. Yeah, maxed out is 9,999. And for her, you got a long way to go. So thank you all. Have an awesome day, and I'll catch all of you guys in the next one. Peace.